Happy Tuesday. Happy book review day. Today's a bit of a throwback, but it's something that I return to again and again. If you ever read the webcomic Hyperbole and a Half, I think it started in 2009. I don't know, it was a blog, it was webcomic, however you want to call it. Allie Brosch was the writer, and she, I guess, collected some of the work and expanded on it in the first book, Hyperbole and a Half, and then Solutions and Other Problems. And gosh, if you've never encountered them, I'm trying to think of an easy way of describing it. It's super heartfelt, very vulnerable, but extremely funny. Allie Brosh just has this way of cutting through the crap and finding the absurd in some of the more tragic moments. I don't know. I love the ones where she goes back and kind of, with an adult perspective, looks at her childhood and realizes some of the stuff that was really messed up that you don't think about at the time. And she First book came out in 2013, I think, and then this one was just 2020. And in between the two, her life, I mean, she struggled a lot, and she writes very openly about her struggles with depression and anxiety and suicidal thoughts and treatment and all of that stuff. So um, it's wonderful work for all of those reasons, and yet, like I said, it's funny as well. So rather than blather on, I'll read a short section, which is right from the intro. Well, warning signs. And so this is, kind of what it looks like, and it was kind of how our blog looked. There's text and there's images, and the images supplement and enhance the reading, but are kind of secondary to it as well. So, anyway, when I was 10 years old, I wrote a letter to my future self and buried it in my backyard. 17 years later, I remembered that I was supposed to remember to dig it up 2 years earlier. I looked forward to getting a nostalgic glimpse into my childhood. Perhaps I would marvel at my own innocence or see the first glimmer of my current aspirations. As it turns out, it just made me feel really weird about myself. The letter was scrawled in green crayon on the back of a utility bill. My 10-year-old self had obviously not spent much time planning out the presentation of it. Most likely, I had simply been walking through the kitchen and suddenly realized that it was entirely possible to write to myself to my future self. The overwhelming excitement of this realization probably caused me to panic and short circuit, making me unable to locate proper writing implements. There was no time for that kind of thing. I did, however, manage to fight through the haze of chaos and impulse long enough to find a crayon stub and a paper surface to mash it against. The letter begins thusly: There, 25-year-old. Note, not 25-year-old me or dear 25-year-old self, just Dear 25-year-old, do you still like dogs? What is your favorite dog? Do you have a job training dogs? Is Murphy still alive? What is your favorite food? Are mom and dad still alive? I feel it's important to note the order of those questions. Obviously, dog related subjects were my chief concern. Murphy was my family dog, followed closely by the need to know what my future favorite food was. I feel that the double question marks speak to the importance that I thought that question held. Only then did I pause to consider whether my parents had survived. The letter continues with a section titled About Me. My name is Allie, and I'm 10 years old. I have blonde hair and blue eyes. My favorite dog is a German Shepherd. My second favorite dog is a Husky. My third favorite dog is Doberman. This is troubling for a number of reasons. The first of which is that I apparently thought my future self wouldn't be aware of my name or eye color. The second thing is the fact that I just tacked on my favorite dog breeds at the end there, like it's every bit as important to my future identity as other things. As if my past self had imagined a future self standing in the yard above the upturned earth, clutching my letter and screaming, But what dogs do I like? How am I supposed to understand my identity without knowing what dogs I liked when I was 10? I took a break from writing at that point to draw several pictures of what appeared to be German shepherds. And it just goes on like that. It's just this amazing, funny evaluation of this childhood perspective and like the reality of what a 10-year-old could fathom was possible. And then, the absurdity of the adult looking back at it and going like, I have lots of problems with this. um, anyway, that would be my recommendation today. Allie Brosch, Hyperbole and a Half, Solutions and Other Problems. Like I said, vulnerable, revealing, um, sad at times, but ultimately very funny as well. So